multitasking. Okay, so let's jump in and get started. I hope everybody had a wonderful Wednesday. I sure did. And here we go. I'm going to turn it up a little bit, actually, so I can hear it. There we go. Yeah. So Contra, I love this game. This has been my favorite NES game since the moment I played it. When I was a child, so back in the 80s, right, when this game came out, 88, I think it was, my friends and I, played the typical Nintendo games. So we're talking, Mario Brothers, Zelda, all that kind of stuff. Sports games like Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl, Double Dribble, all that kind of stuff. Your typical standard 80s kid Nintendo games. But where my friends enjoyed playing Mario Brothers, I preferred Contra. I preferred the more action games. The games where you run to the right and kill stuff. Those were always my jam. Whereas I had friends that were all about playing platformers and RPGs and sports games. I was all about the action games. So the faster a game moved, the more twitch-based, the more reaction-based it was, right? Reaction speed-based, the more I was into it. And Contra just scratches that itch for me. Contra and Supercede. Supercede is the sequel to Contra. A lot of people call it Super Contra, but the actual title is Supercede. And I don't know if it's ever been confirmed or stated anywhere, but my theory is that it's called Supercede because back in the late 80s and through the early 90s or whatever, there was this situation, the Iran-Contra geopolitical crisis that happened. And I think they just wanted to move away from the word Contra to avoid bad press. And so they called the game Super C instead of Super Contra. And that's the sequel to this game. This game, Contra, is actually based on the arcade game of the same name. The arcade game obviously is going to have better graphics, all that kind of stuff, but in my opinion, the Nintendo version is the definitive version of the game. Even though it came after the arcade version, the gameplay is that much tighter. The controls are that much more responsive. It just feels that much better, in my opinion. I do have the arcade version of the game. I've never actually finished the arcade version of the game. Because I just wish it was the Nintendo version, basically. It just doesn't feel right. And so I never put forth the effort to finish it. The controls are all weird. The weapons are weird in the arcade version. In my opinion, right? So compared to the Nintendo version. So I'm all about the Nintendo version. And it's my favorite NES game, hands down. Super C, my second favorite NES game. I can beat the game pretty quickly. When I really grind at it and get good at speedrunning it. But I wouldn't call what I do a speed run. It's nowhere near what the actual speedrunners do. My best time ever was a little over 10 minutes, which you would think is not that far off from the world record. The world record's like 9 minutes, 40 seconds or something like that, something ridiculous. And you would think, well, 10 minutes, that's only 20 seconds behind. Well, in the world of speedrunning, 20 seconds might as well be 20 hours. Oop. Sometimes that guy shows up right there and causes problems. If you're speedrunning it, you want to be able to take out that arm, like, before it even shoots that first fireball. Okay, once you do that, you can just line yourself up with those pipes in the background, aim up and shoot. This game's all about the spread shot. You want to get the spread shot and the rapid fire. That combination, and you're gold. The spread shot and rapid fire are so overpowered in this game that they tried to rebalance it in Super C. You can still get the spread shot. You can still get rapid fire in Super C. But when you get to a boss, when you arrive to a boss, and if you have the spread shot, there's a mechanic in the background. There's a background mechanic where it doubles the health of all the bosses if you have the spread. So in Supercede, the OP weapon is actually the flame gun, and you want to use that for about half the game until you get to the boss that is sometimes referred to as the laser shower, and from there on you can rock the spread gun. If you watch the best players in the world at this game, they have this mashing technique right here where they can make their spread shot basically just be one solid line of bullets. I don't know how you do it. Some people say it's all about the rhythm, the timing of your button presses. Others say you just have to mash supernaturally fast to achieve that. And I just use my thumb. I'm not going to mess around with all that mashing business. I just do my best with the thumbs. Music in this game is tremendous. The gameplay, the controls, it's so tight. And it's crazy, too. Like a game that's a side-scroller, run and gun like this, it achieves so much. Being able to shoot in all the directions, like that was mind-blowing back in the 80s when we were kids. We couldn't believe it. We were like, wow. You know, like you can shoot in every direction. And other games would kind of be measured by that. Like, you'd play other games, and if you couldn't shoot in all directions, it just, you know, you would always think, well, in Contra you can. Why can't you in this game? There we go. I got the glitch right there. There's a glitch you can achieve where you can shoot these guys while they're separated. Just like that. Did it again. Oh, Secret Neighbors. Yeah, I was telling you about that before. It's a spin-off of Hello Neighbor. It looks pretty cool. I would play that. I'm down for trying it. There's like these different characters you play as, and each one kind of plays differently. Alright, this is the level I really have to concentrate on. This is one of my worst levels right here. It's also fun because this level, the enemies start shooting on this level. Normally they just run at you and try to touch you, and you know how it works in video games, where if an enemy just simply touches you, you die. But not only can they kill you just by touching you, but they can also shoot. This is the level where they start shooting. It's also the only level where the bullets that the bad guys shoot are red. Well, the regular grunt guys, their bullets are red. And my theory is that their bullets are red because if they were white, it would blend in with the background. On all the other levels that they shoot on, their bullets are white. So that part right there is actually pretty hard, not because of the grenades so much, but because there's a guy that can spawn and fire off a round, and there's like very little you can do about it. Ah! If you're a pro, you can kill that thing before it fires off a shot, but obviously I'm not a pro. I like how the stars just stop in the sky right there. It's an ominous sign. The stars go black. Whoa! Alright, there's going to be a guy behind a gun turret right there that pops up. Alright, we're almost there. We just got to make it past all these nades that are flying out of the trees. Sometimes a guy will appear right there. It's real annoying. Sometimes a guy will appear right there, right as you jump, and kill you. It's awful. And then sometimes that grenade right there will linger around, like after its effect is gone, and still kill you. So it's when you're doing no death runs, you have to be careful about that. And that UFO or whatever that is, it usually appears kind of above the door, just off to the side, to the left of being above the door, but sometimes it appears on the left, and I don't know what determines that. This is my favorite level. This level and the one after it are my favorite levels in the game. Energy Zone. You have to be careful falling down right there, because sometimes a guy will appear and fire off a shot. Ah! See, they appear and shoot. It's real crazy. Alright, so the trick right here is you have to wait for the flame to go up and then jump. And then you have to be careful right there, because those bad guys can make that jump. Alright. This is where you get to rest your thumbs from mashing the shoot button. And I do this real slow and cautiously when I'm not trying to get like personal best times. Kill that guy. Jump and shoot. Whoops. Jump and shoot down to break that. There's like a really fancy way to do this. I've never really been able to do it. Alright. So I die about half the time that I do this part right here. We want to jump over that flame that's in the ceiling. Watch this. Just like that. Now we're going to grab that B. B, I don't know what it stands for. I just always imagine that it stands for bulletproof. Because now I can just simply destroy bad guys by touching them. Boom, boom. So if you think about it, it's almost like the enemies have been using whatever B is because they can touch you and kill you. Alright, so this boss right here has some randomness to him. Sometimes he cooperates and just lets you kill him really quickly. Sometimes his pattern gets all funky. Sometimes he throws out these little robot cleaner droids. There we go. And I'm not clever enough to figure out what controls his randomness. So here we go. Hanger. I love this level too. I love those claws that come down from the ceiling. When I was a kid, I used to draw my own levels for Contra. And a lot of the times I would just simply draw variations of this level on like construction paper and try to build my own Contra levels. So I like to let that barrel go so I don't accidentally grab something. I think it's just a rapid fire anyway. You can actually jump on the top of these walls that raise up if you want to play really fast. But I'm just going slow because I want to do a no death run, so I'm just trying to be cautious. Keeping it safe. There's going to be a wall right there. You can stand underneath the white claws. They're not going to move. Destroy the walls. Alright, so this is my favorite part right here. We have to trick the screen over enough so that that item over there appears. So you blast it. It falls down. And then you can just drop, grab, and you're good. So you have to use the momentum of the mine carts to propel you forward. They give you just enough edge. Slide through that one. Keep running, and then jump! Use that momentum of that minecart to keep going, and that propels you all the way through all that hard stuff. You're bulletproof the whole time. That's my technique anyway. And then this part's fun. I remember the first time I saw this, it blew my mind. I was like, how can you do this? This is impossible. And that's it. There's going to be these stand-up guys. And this part's real tricky too. You're at the mercy of randomness because, whoa, that was close. These guys that kind of run off the side of the screen, you know, they might run, they might shoot. It gets really crazy and nerve-wracking right there. So the trick is not to go too far forward, so that there's still a little bit of path, there's still a little bit of a gap right there, so that if anyone spawns on the left side, they won't run up behind you while you're destroying those turret guys. Anyway, the boss is crazy easy. If you have the spread, you just run up, aim diagonally, mash, and then celebrate. This is the last level of the game. Right here, Alien's Lair. The first time I saw this, it scared me. I was terrified. We're just getting that out of the way. And then we're grabbing the B. And while we're bulletproof, we're just going to jump and mash. Kill the shrimp, kill that head. And you would think that was the boss of the game. No, that's not the boss of the game. Not the boss. Now, if I'm trying to get a personal best time, I don't stop moving to the right, but because I want to just beat this no deaths, I'm just going to take my time. We're going to go slow and cautiously. Just like that. And I've missed that jump right there so many times, it's ridiculous. There's another really hard jump coming up too. It's almost pixel perfect. And like I was saying, my friends loved like platforming games. I've never been terrific at platforming games like Mario Brothers and things like that. Jumping and like across gaps is like one of my least favorite things to do in life. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of judgment of space and time like just doesn't line up correctly in my brain. So we're just gonna do this nice and slow. Nice and cautiously. Destroy the puffballs. Now, there's always a spider thing that pops up right there, so you have to be careful. And then the rest of them are actually random. Sometimes you get a bunch, sometimes you get none, sometimes they jump at you. And that's never fun. Alright. So I always like to do this where I destroy all these pods. You don't have to. It's optional. I just do it when I really want to make the game suffer. I always think of it like I'm eradicating the aliens. I feel like my character would do that, right? You wanna wipe out all trace of them. It does lead to you taking chances, though. And having the spread, I think, is the only way. Maybe one of the other weapons would do it, but I've never gotten here with anything other than the pea shooter or the spread. But to my knowledge, that's the only way to hit that one last pod up there in the top right, because you have to have spread or something else. There we go. And now the last boss is completely at our mercy. There's no defense that they have against us. So we can just aim up and diagonally and just spam the shoot. You can even jump just like that to get in some extra hits. And what do you know? First try, Contra, no deaths. I was prepared to try this like 10 or 12 times. Did it on the first attempt. That's Contra on the NES. The ending music is fantastic. Give it an ear.